Hi, I'm Alison Poulsen with Couple Solutions and the Psychology of Healthy Relationships. Today's topic is expressing your anger effectively. Everybody has a reason to get angry once in a while.
Oh, I can't believe it for the 50th time!
But if you lose your temper or you're really mean or negative, it's not very effective for long-term relationships.
I cannot believe you! You are the worst!
When you lose your temper and attack another person, that person's likely to feel horrible and defensive instead of compassionate and understanding of your situation. So I'm going to talk about what we can learn about ourselves from our own anger in a positive way psychologically, and then talk about some steps that we can take for effective communication. Often beneath anger is another feeling, such as fear of abandonment or fear of not being loved.
And they don't even care. They just don't even seem to even care. I don't get to do anything that I want to do.
Or a lack of empowerment, feeling small and insignificant and unappreciated.
Oh, I'm not even being heard. I'm like this big. I just feel so small inside.
It's important to recognize what tends to trigger you. Is it not being listened to? Is it not being able to handle anxiety? Or is it feeling powerless? Ironically, uncontrolled anger causes the very thing a person fears. So for instance, if you fear abandonment, by becoming angry and possessive, you push the other person away. And if they don't abandon you physically, often their spirit and their love will leave you.
I can't believe it. You said you were going to be home at 5:30 and already it's 9:30 and you never even called.
Often people don't recognize their feelings until they explode in anger. So it's important to become more self-aware and recognize feelings when they're mere irritations and you can do something calmly about them rather than waiting until you erupt in anger. When you become aware of your triggers and your unconscious feelings and desires, then often you find out that you have to do something about those desires rather than expect the other person to do it for you. For instance, if you're not pursuing your own interests, rather than getting angry at somebody else, you can do something to change your lifestyle. Yet often you do have to express your anger or expectations to another person. So I'm going to lay out a 4-step process called nonviolent communication, developed by Rosenberg. And he has worked with people in Rwanda, former Yugoslavia, and the Palestinian conflict, as well as with gangs and policemen and couples. How can we change powerless anger and hostility to personal power where we can peacefully inspire transformation? What's most important is not the specific words, but the intent, the tone of voice, and the demeanor. Without an objective, calm demeanor, you can't be very productive even using the right words. If you're too angry, let the other person know that you'll discuss things later when you're calm, so he or she doesn't feel abandoned.
I am really angry right now. I need 15 minutes and then we can talk about it later.
The first step is expressing the facts without exaggeration, judgment, or insults, and without using terms like you always, you never.
Do you know it's 9 o'clock? I expected you here a few hours ago.
Number 2, express your feelings. I feel hurt, I feel scared, I feel angry, and I feel like walking away. I feel defensive. You know, saying you're angry or defensive is very different than acting defensively and angrily. But be careful that your feelings aren't judgments. I feel that you're a jerk. That's not a feeling.
Really getting worried, and I was getting angry.
Number 3, express your needs or desires. It's really not being needy to let other people know what you want. This gives the other person the opportunity to do something nice for you, or at least to know what you want. So I need support. I'd like to have more fun. I need to be able to trust someone.
I need you to call me so that I know that you're okay.
Remember, not getting enough food or sleep or exercise can make you grumpy and angry. So those are needs that you have to satisfy yourself. Number 4, make a specific positive request, not a demand. So you don't want to be too abstract, like I need love forever. What does that mean? And you don't want to be negative. I want you to stop being selfish. That's not clear either. So make it very doable and specific. For instance, let's go out to dinner Friday night. Or it would be great if you would help me do the dishes. So rather than complaining or nagging, you're giving the other person the opportunity to do something thoughtful and nice for you.
You know, the next time that you know you're going to be late, give me a call so that I can make other plans.
The last step is to observe patterns and to decide how you might change your expectations of people. So you don't want to control other people, but if you see that they're repeatedly ignoring your requests and your feelings and desires, then you might change your expectations of them. For instance, if you know someone who rarely shows up or rarely calls you when they're late, you might not want to make any plans counting on that person. But you might still want to remain friends with them, but just arrange your life so that you don't have expectations that they'll show up. It would be difficult, however, to be married to somebody like that, but you could retain a friendship with someone who is flaky.
You know, I get so frustrated waiting and not knowing. So I've made other plans for dinner tonight, but let's catch a hike this weekend.
By changing your expectations, you're less likely to be disappointed, and once in a while the other person will respond by treating you with more respect. So that's the tip of the day. Express your anger effectively. Remember, it's like learning a new sport. First, you learn what the right form is. Then you keep practicing and practicing. And when you blow it, you figure out what went wrong and you try not to be too hard on yourself and you go out there and try it again.